Hi, everybody. I'm Tommy Sims, one of the co-directors of Fuzzysurf's Sheepshed, a cinematic music video that follows the adventures of Fuzzysurf as they meet their doppelganger band, Roughturf, and they have a little battle of the bands and take that battle to the streets of Milwaukee.
And I'm Joe Ludwig, the other director of Sheepshed.
And how did the concept come about?
For Sheepshed, Sean, the lead singer, actually he's got what, the red Miata?
Yeah.
And then we found out that a family member of Corey, the keyboardist, had the silver Miata. So Sean had the idea of the dueling Miatas. Might be fun to do some sort of race, something or other, or if we could get a band that was the doppelganger versions of them, and then see where we could take off from there.
Forgive my ignorance if I'm not aware of this, but how did you get involved with Fuzzysurf's music video here?
You were involved before I was even brought on, back with Denny.
Yeah. Well, I know Corey, the keyboardist in Fuzzysurf. I've known him since I was like 12. He was like one of my brother's best friends, and he knew I did stuff with video. And back in 2017, he asked me to shoot a video for him, and I looped Tommy in on that, where Tommy played a milkman. And little did we know that Tommy would be playing that milkman for the next
Pretty much every year since.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. The Milkman originated with the band Lovely Socialite, their video Glass. It was basically his story, and then ever since then, I think the band thought it'd be a fun idea, since Corey was involved with Lovely Socialite too, to have the Milkman cameo in this one. And then ever since, we just thought it'd be a fun little Easter egg to have him pop up here and there, even though he, spoiler alert, dies in his origin video.
So do you own the outfit, Tommy?
Yeah.
Okay. That's convenient.
Yep.
Yeah.
How did you cast the secondary band?
Oh, that we knew we wanted 4 women who looked like the guys, true doppelgangers, as close to them as we could get, So at first I was just asking people here and there, but then I put out a public post on Instagram with a picture of the 4 band members, and I said, "Do you know any ladies who look like these guys?" And nobody really responded. But then I used a face filter app where you can turn someone into, like a feminine version of themselves. So then I turned the 4 guys into like female versions, and I was like, "How about now?" And then we got some responses.
Yeah. And then I was like, "Hey, Joe, Lady Sean, what about your sister Frankie?" And she's the one who wound up playing Chantel.
Yeah. There's Sean versus Chantel, Ben versus Bonnie, Corey versus Corinne, and then Mike versus Michaela.
Now, does anybody in the Roughturf band play actual instruments, or did you have to kind of coach a little bit?
The drummer Jenna was the only one who really knew how to play, and she just moved to Nashville because she's like an amazing drummer. But I think the drums is the hardest thing to fake, or at least it's the most obvious when you're faking it, when you're not really hitting the cymbals or the drums.
Mm-hmm.
It's obvious. So we wanted a real drummer, and then the other 3, if you're strumming the guitar, it looks close enough.
Yeah, Ben, the Fuzzysurf bassist, did send over a tutorial video for to view.
Yeah,
so it helped.
This music video has a lot of setups.
Yeah.
An insane amount of setups for how short it is. And well, I guess that's not that much different than a regular music video. They tend to have a lot of setups, but
right.
You have more setups than probably a short film generally does at this size. How long did it take to shoot this?
2-3 days.
Yeah.
Something like that. I feel like with my background in animation, what I tend to do is, and even you too, Joe, I feel like we both go into it and we approach it as like, an entire 2-hour storyline that we just cram into a 2-3 minute video. I mean, if going back to the old Fleischer, Popeye cartoons, Betty Boop cartoons, and even Looney Tunes and Disney, a lot of their short animations were in a way music videos. They took an entire musical piece and just animated that, and you had this story that just happened to go along with the music too. And that's kind of how I view all these too, with a beginning, middle, and end, and taking the audience on an entire adventure through the whole thing.
Yeah, and with all 4 women, we only had 1 day with them. So
It's Fuzzy
what's
Surf.
that?
We had one day with Fuzzy Surf.
With the female band Roughturf.
Okay.
Yeah, so that day was crazy. I think it was like 12 hours.
At least, yeah. And we were all over town too. It wasn't really in any convenient order, because we started off over by, was it Barnacle Buds?
Yeah.
For the start of the race, and then we came all the way to Whitefish Bay at the Dairy Queen over there for the diner sequence, and then back to X-Ray Arcade in Cudahy for the whole Battle of the Bands, and then back out to Dairy Queen just to pick up the final milkshake shot, so we didn't have Sean dirty during the Battle of the Bands.
That's incredible, because you're adding travel time to all this as well, and picking up all those shots.
Yeah.
Tommy, you're a legacy filmmaker with our festival. You've had 2 films in,
Yeah.
and you've won quite a bit of awards too with our festival.
And thank you for that, by the way.
Well, I didn't say you should win those. That's the judges.
Thank you to the festival
thank
and
you.
all the judges and everybody. And I
Yeah.
appreciate the love and support.
With that, this is slightly different than what you've given us before. There is animation in it, but there's
Yes.
less animation.
I actually started off with 2D animation before I ventured into claymation. I guess my story is, when I started college, I didn't fully know what I wanted to do, because I love to draw. And I also got into acting in high school. And then at a certain point, I discovered that animation combines drawing and acting. So I started taking the 2D animation courses first, and then found out that UWM offered some stop motion classes too. And then I got into that, and I've just kind of done a little bit of everything ever since. But I haven't done too much 2D animation in a while, because it's been a lot of stop motion for the last couple of years. But the 2D animation was actually done physically. I used the Dragon Frame stop motion software to overlay or onion skin the frames of sheepshed, and then I could actually see my hand drawing underneath on physical paper to get like the markered look, because we wanted to make it sort of feel like, once we flew through this Battle of the Bands poster in the beginning of the film, that you're sort of living in this poster world, and that all of the animation is done with these broad permanent marker strokes. And then we went through in post-production and colorized those.
Joe, what's your background?
Well, I went to MATC for computer animation. And I met Tommy through a mutual friend who I went to school with there. And yeah, so I was doing a little bit of 2D animation there, a lot of just CGI. But then just one day I decided I want to do live action. Most of what I watch is live action, so I got a camera, and I've been doing it ever since. So
Is this the first time you 2 have partnered together on a music video, or have you done that before?
We've been doing it for quite some time now. Sugar, last year, Joe and I both worked on. I just took the reins of directing on that, just because like the whole vision of the thing was just in my head, and it's just, after years and years of watching all the old Fleischer cartoons, it's just like I just knew exactly what needed to be done and how it should look. But we've been working together, I think, since the Lovely Socialite video on Glass back in 2017. And 2017 is also when we started filming Reanimation of the Imagination. It just took quite a few years to complete.
yeah.
So we were multitasking numerous films. We still kind of are to this day.
Have you guys ever thought of maybe doing a feature, or are you more content in doing the short films and music videos?
It's funny, Sean from Fuzzysurf keeps asking us when we're going to do our first feature film. But at the moment, we've got a slate of short films lined up, ready to go.
Yeah, and there's a few things we've talked about regarding a feature, because right now we've done 5 Fuzzysurf videos together, and there are some connective tissue, some links between each one, and we're calling it the Fuzzyverse that we're building out. And so I think if we were to just film some kind of
interstitial segments,
yeah, we could start to flesh out a full feature
just with what we've already got.
This, basically,
what's that?
You would have a musical.
Yeah,
definitely. I think one thing that's great about this video is that in addition to acting as a music video, it's also sort of a love letter to Milwaukee. We kind of go around town showing all the sights, focusing on maybe different areas of neighborhoods that people don't usually get out to quite that often. And it allows the world to see what we're capable of doing here. Like, you don't have to be on the West Coast to make a bigger budget looking film. We can do it anywhere, basically.
Yeah.
So,
Joe?
If you haven't watched this video yet, I think if you like the idea of a battle of the bands leading to a Grease style street race, then this video is for you.
Well, thank you very much, you two, for being here today.
Thank you for having us.
Yeah, thanks.